So yeah, start by introducing yourself.
My name's Sam Calcutt. I am 1/3 of Circular Jaw along with Wordnet and Neverman. My alias is FoxMind. I DJ and produce, and I have been for about I've been producing for about 5 years and DJing for about 3 or 4 now. No, about 3. Yeah. But because there's less DJs buying vinyl, that would mean there's less people buying vinyl, and it kind of like it would start to dwindle away. And then, but now since things have come back, and like Aldi and Lidl have been talking about setting up little vinyl boxes in the corner, so who knows? Like, it was a toss-up between buying a PS3, well, no, it's either a PlayStation or an Xbox, or this vinyl deck with a mixer, so two turntables, a mixer, and some vinyl for £100. So I went for that one because I was like, that's a no-brainer. And then I went from there and mixed horribly for about a year or so until I started to slowly get better.
That tune's absolutely. Let's run that from the top.
I think it's part of like a legacy of the DJs, especially like the modern DJ now, that doesn't really, it's not like a necessity to go and use vinyl. I think it's a bit more respected when you do go out and play. Having a piece of music that is a physical thing, I still really find it hard to wrap my mind around the fact that a whole frequency range can be expressed through a groove that is picked up by a needle. That just, I still haven't really got my head around that, but it's just nice to be able to have the thing. Like, I mean, like some of my favorite tunes, like this, like I've wanted it forever, and it's like it's an amazing track, and just having the thing instead of just seeing the pink cover on my computer. So actually having the vinyl, you can just like it's much more satisfying than kind of than just downloading the tune or something. Yeah, well, one of the obvious problems with vinyl is the wear and tear. I mean, you can't really play them forever because the grooves will kind of like just get ruined and all the sound will be lost. And which is where obviously CDs kind of completely dominate them in that sense. Is that they're just pretty much they will last forever. And obviously memory sticks, that doesn't really have any sort of degrading, which kind of makes it harder to practice, because I think mixing two vinyl into each other is different than mixing a vinyl into a digital track, because it's a lot easier to put the digital one in time, so it's almost like a little handicap almost. It's quite fun, it's much more enjoyable, it's much more hands-on, and you kind of have to put a lot more work in to actually get them to work, and when you get it in time and you can let it sit and it works, it's just a really good feeling. It's more expensive, obviously. It's the storage as well, because the sleeves and the vinyls themselves can get water damaged and warped, and you find that with a lot of old vinyls, which is where you get the crackle, because when you play them a lot as well, the grooves degrade because it's a needle scraping through a vinyl groove. It's definitely being outshined by all the other digital mediums and much easier ways of doing things, and I feel like me personally, obviously it's it's much easier not to take this fuck off bag of vinyl to a club, whereas you can just take 2 little memory sticks about that big in your pocket, and I feel like everybody saw that and just must have thought, yeah, this is the way to go. And obviously there was still like a kind of scene for playing like all vinyl sets or including vinyl in your sets, but I think it's much less often done now. Vinyl is definitely more within the underground culture, and being pop music, that sets it even further away from needing things like vinyl, because it's not like anybody's gonna take a Justin Bieber record to a club and drop it. If you look at like the newer people buying vinyl instead of people that have always been buying vinyl, I think it's probably resurgence of vinyl in like DJing, in like culture as well, like people wanting to just have vinyl to look cool, people wanting it for like the aesthetics, you know, like I was saying, of playing it and stuff like that. And but I know a lot of people who do buy vinyl just for casual listening, and it is a nice experience to like, you know, kind of rummage through your bag and just be like, oh yeah, look at this track, and then put it on and just listen to it and stuff.
So talk me through your record collection.
First of all, I've got one from our label, which was the second release and the first thing to get printed into a physical form. It's a see-through vinyl. I'm not actually sure if it's vinyl. I think it might be a plastic disc. And we got it cut at a independent cutting house called One Press. We did 15 copies of it, with the exception of a few for the artists, and it sold out really well actually. I'm surprised how quickly and how well it went, but I guess there's a lot more market for something than you'd initially think. This one's another one of my personal artifacts. It's a little jungle record that I got in a terrible small record shop in my hometown, which is now dead, and it was just the strangest thing to find in there, because I never thought I'd find something like this in there. It's just two really nice jungle tracks, and it's different. It's completely different to any of the other records I have. So yeah, that's one that kind of stands out on itself. Mainly the average consumer would probably go to somewhere like HMV or more accessible stores like charity shops and kind of small independent record shops. Whereas you get less consumer people going on DJ-based websites like Clone, Red Eye, and Boomcat, and there's a lot of clothing brands and other lifestyle brands are kind of linking with existing record labels or starting their own record labels to release music, and it's becoming more and more of a common thing to have that as like a two-sided like a two-sided thing. It's like records and clothing. There's usually like a lot of brands will try and do that as a contained sort of image, whereas you're also getting existing brands like Palace linking up with record labels like Trilogy Tapes to create some interesting kind of dynamic. I feel like there's a good chance that it can stick around forever, because I think it's something that people do love. People have a connection to having like a physical piece of music.